Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to another FRL. It's round number 9. It's Taco Tuesday. Never gets bored. Ever get bored doing that one? How all doing this evening? It's round number 9. It's tier number 1, and that is in the wrong position. There we go. Quick look at the standings before we get to the drivers on track. If I push that button, it does work indeed. There we can see TK Drifter at top of the pack. He led going into the start of round number 7, which was when he got his first win. Still led the championship though. And round 8, 12th place. He is still atop the board by 37 points though. Arms, who's missed the round and has got a 10th place as well. 37 points back. Rob 2K got himself a 4th, which gets him up to 3rd in the championship. We've got a couple of scores there that are under investigation by the stewards, I believe. We'll get a confirmation on that as well. Milden in 5th. KOL Fighters in 6th with a 6th place last week and 6th place the week before. Last week's race winner Buzzy won't be joining us this evening. His home nation is currently taking part in the World Cup. So fingers crossed, they're playing Argentina. No spoilers, even though I know the score at the moment. But the best of luck to everyone that's got anyone involved in that. Morex is 9th and Clate is 10th in the championship. 3 drivers you can see there on 149 points, Buzzy, Morex and Clay. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare. Buzzy, the most interesting of all, of course, his average qualifying position 12th. Morex average qualifying position 4th, 4.8. He's missed 3 rounds and he's got a 17th, but he does have a 2nd place that he got last week. So the promise was certainly fulfilled. Blue Mosquito, Andy Cray, WTR, Boslad, 11th through to 15th. From Melson in the Audi. In 16th, Hendricks and Bruno, 17th and 18th. Brandon Glover, 19th and Mix, 64 in 20th position. The drivers just getting themselves out on track, so we can get rid of that and that. And we'll get a full quali session under our belts. Again, we won't be taking advantage of the spectator cameras. They do like to... well, they do just seem to cause me problems. I'm not sure if it's a remote play thing. Let me put some game sound on so you can at least hear the engines. So what we'll do, we'll be mostly using this camera. I'm going to say mostly it will be this one. So we see the driver. It says Watkins, Glen. We are in the American leg of this season. The PS5 drivers, of course, they've not long had the American courses added. Circuit of the Americas, Indianapolis, and this absolute beauty of a course, Watkins Glen. The PS4 drivers this evening are Laguna Seca, whereas for the PS5 drivers it'll be a Laguna Seca finale, 90 minutes next week. So December the 20th for that one. Make sure you set your calendars. That will be fun. Only 16 in at the moment, actually. So I'm expecting a few more. I don't think we've quite got that many Croatians and Argentinians in the lineup. So 16 out on track at the moment. There is the calendar. There's a quick rundown. They're still on their out laps. Let's just have a look. There is any information you might need if you're looking to help and support the Formula Racing League team. There is the Patreon support packages. You've got support on Elite and Alien, all 3 tiers. Let me just get my old eyes working. You think I know this off by heart by now, mate? It's terrible. Driver number reserved seat for free and an FRL Lotto entry. Elites and Aliens will also get a number logo. Coaching, new to PC Sim Racing Guide when it becomes available. And the Aliens, on top of all that good stuff, will get themselves an overlay banner. Yearly prizes, SimHub Dash, Elgato ACC icons. and a custom livery to boot. You get all the information you need at formularacingelite.co.uk. Back to the track though, and what a track it is. Genuinely seriously excited for this one. That sounds like something's just fell over. Hopefully it wasn't expensive. Yeah, Watkins Glen, an absolute cracker, and yeah, I'm glad to see ACC have definitely done it justice. I have had confirmation from an actual official that's been to the track. Yeah, it's a very faithful representation that the drivers will be dealing with. Built back 1956, a lot like Brands Hatch. It looked a lot different when it started, and it's had almost a full mile added to the layout since its inception. The last change made back in 1992, where, despite contrary belief, I was just a young lad-ish. This is a 3.4 miles long, 5.5 kilometres for you young'uns amongst us. It is the spiritual home of racing, road racing in the USA. It's been seen top level racing since 1940s. It's had Formula 1, it's had Can-Am, it's had the NASCAR series, and yeah, I think everyone pretty much knows it as the Glen. It is a phenomenal track, and we're going to see some quick times around here as well. The BMW is already faring well with Clay with a 45.2. Milden up on the front row in a Mercedes. He's got a BMW just behind him. That's Rendell, just under 4/10 off the pace. We've got WTR Art Corner, 4th and 5th for Melson in the Audi, up in 6th position. KOL Fighter, Ferrari driver as well. He's in 7th. Rob 2K and that guitar dude. That guitar dude, legend. There we go, one of the SOP drivers. I'm not sure that anyone knows. So SOP and FRL, a beautiful harmonious partnership. And just move that. Yeah, because with the amount of PC drivers, it's really Star Wars there that SOP had. There wasn't a lot of console drivers at all, so yes, a union, a happily marriage in the sim racing space was made between FRL and SOP. So a lot of the remaining console drivers for ACC, SOP are now taking part in the FRL leagues, and there is that guitar dude, one of the SOP regulars, since right back when they started. So yeah, he's been racing for a long time. So yeah, this is the PS5 drivers, of course. There's Hendricks, he's 10th at the moment. Still got 7 drivers that haven't set a time as of yet. But Milden is not messing about in the Mercedes. He's got himself, never mind, because Clay's just gone quicker again. So it is the battle of the Germans. As I see, BMW, Mercedes. Oof, goodness me, excuse me. That's maybe a bit loud actually. That is, yeah, Nelson, Milden, and yeah, Audi, Mercedes, and BMW. The top 3, but Renville and the BMW, the top 4. Then the Italian pairing, KOL Fighter and WTR. In the Ferraris, then it's back-to-back Astons with TK Drifter in the Nissan. Have we finally found the Nissan's kryptonite? 12th last week. Lower down the order on this one as well. Still plenty of time in qualifying though, 8 minutes. We've still got Blue Mosquito, Casper, Val Ren, Morex, we know he's quick, and Bozzy to set themselves times. But yeah, it's Milton, Rumelson and Clay that are duking out up at the top here. It'll be interesting to see which one of them comes out properly on top of this one. More times being set. G. Harvey's got a time in, 12th place, 1.9 off the pace. Hendricks 3 seconds there, so expect an improvement on that time. I don't think we'll see as wide the spread as 3 seconds over the piece, but you never know. It is a new track. This could well be the first time drivers, depending on their other commitments, And there you go, there's the pole sitter showing you just how difficult that last corner can be. Into the wall and into the pit. 7 minutes still to go. More X, there we go. He's popped up into 4th. We've got Renville in 5th. KOL Fighter within half a second in 6th position. WTR not far behind in 7th. Our corner's got 8th. 9th for Rob 2K in the Bentley. Valren in that guitar, 10th and 11th. TK Drifter in the pits in 12th. Casper, the friendliest of Aston Martin drivers, he is 13th. Not being disparaging to any other Aston Martin drivers, that was just a Casper, a friendly ghost joke for anyone that doesn't get the Casper the ghost, that's just in case. G Harvey's in 15th, Hendricks 16th, and Bozzy has set a lap. Hendricks well within 3 seconds there, 2.7, and I expect Bozzy to be well within the 3 as well. In fact, he's just coming round the penultimate corner now. Let's see if he can navigate the last corner better than we saw Clay on the last lap. He does indeed. Doesn't use anywhere near as much of the width of the course as he could, but still good to get some time set. And indeed, there you go, 2.2 seconds. So a big improvement on time there. Gets them to within 2.2. Again, 5 minutes, 6 minutes still to go. So I'd expect still to see improvements from the drivers down near the bottom end. Morek's still in 4th. He's gone a bit quicker. He's up to 4th, sorry, within a 10th. 900s, 700s and 400s separate the drivers from pole position. That's less than a 10th separating the top 4. Not too shabby at all. Especially considering McLaren then breaking the German dominance with Renville in the BMW demoted to 6th position. The Ferrari's still paired in 7th and 8th. The Astons have been well and truly separated now with that guitar dude in 11th, and it's the Nissan and TK Drifter in 12th. G Harvey in the Bentley in 13th position. Then we've got the Lambo of Blue Mosquito, 14th place. Then it is a trio of Ferraris, Bozzy, Hendricks and the Gobby Scottish commentator hiding in the pits once again. Over the front, let's have a look at Clay then, leading the way. Mark Brewer, hey, double raven. Oh, crack is cool. Good evening, good afternoon, and good night. However it works, if it's good night where I am, it's good morning where you are. So yeah, how you doing, bud? Mark, nice to meet you. Welcome in, welcome in. Early start for you. Oh no, what time is it with you? About 9 o'clock? 7 o'clock. I'm chucking it well, guys. Yeah, but how you doing, bud? Thank you very much for tuning in. FRL Tackle Tuesday, as I mentioned earlier. Let me see if we can't just make this a bit quicker. Nope. Queen Giant. There we go. But yeah, Crackers, there we go. Watkins, Glen. Came to ACC not long before it came to GT7. And, oh, he's done a 44.9. Morex has done a 44.9 while I was adjusting the screen. Would you look at that? 44.9.00 for the McLaren. So that's the German dominance. Not only broken, it's been smashed then as the McLaren up onto the front row of the grid. Still 3 minutes of qualifying to go. The track is now optimal. It was fast. Oh, look at the BMW place. Absolutely hunting down that pole position in the BMW. This curve down here at the bottom, one of the best representations of that curve. I think you'll find in the sim racing industry. Very, very good indeed. Let me just check the volume on that once more. Let me just put that up a wee bit. And that'll save me having to shout quite so much. But Morex, very quick time. Clay really ragdolling that car to try and get caught up. We'll see what he can do. That guitar dude 11th a second Off pole time at the moment, Hendricks 2.4. In that 17th place, WTR in the pits in 7th, only 2 minutes left to go. So he is going to be pushing it if he comes back out and tries to get another lap in. Not 100% sure he's going to have time. In fact, yeah, you can almost guarantee he's not going to have time now. That's 2 minutes left in qualifying. And it'll take him about that to get around with the out lap. So it is WTR. First driver finished in quali, 7th position he finds himself in. Morex up at the front. With that minute to go. Excuse me, who is going to bring the fight? We've already got quick times from Clay, Milden, and Rumelson. KRL fighter in the Ferrari, very fast. So is Connor. Renville definitely capable. TK Drifter, championship leader. We know he is capable. What can the Nissan do? Fresh from the land of the rising sun. The Nissan, oh, there we go. White flag with the red spot in the middle, right in the background there. Coming towards the inner loop. We've got that guitar doing Blue Mosquito. Yep, did indeed fall over. Who else we got in the pits? Yeah, that guitar dude Blue Mosquito in the pits. He's in 14th and that guitar dude already down to 12th with Val Wren going quicker. And with 17 seconds left, he is going to get another lap. We've got another car in the background. That is the beauty of this one. As long as you're out, even with 1 second left, when you cross the line, you will get to finish your next lap. We've got Milden about to cross the line. Goes pole. Milden takes pole position by 0.2 of a second. Absolutely flying. Morex in the pits. Clay still absolutely throwing it over those curves. Rumelson as well within half a second. He's just coming around the penultimate corner. In the last corner now. Very tricky pit entrance on this one as well. You can see the pit line. Very easy to cop a penalty on the way in there. Rumelson, is he going to go any quicker? Is it going to be quick enough for pole position? He does go quicker. No improvement, no. We can see that's not Clay in the background. That was another BMW in the background. It was Renville across the line. He finds an improvement in time and position. He's up to 7th place then. Valren finds his way into the pits. KWL fighter coming around the last corner within half a second. And he comes straight into the pits, so no improvement on time there. Art Connor. He is down in the boot. Who else have we got on track? We've got G. Harvey, next driver across the line. He's in the Honda. Ooh, little touch of the wall. How costly has that been? 1.3 seconds. And that remains his difference from pole position. Casper's in the pits. Bozzy's in the pits. Who's that way across the line? Connor? Nope, he's in the pits too. Everyone's in the pits because everyone is done and dusted, and round number 9 qualifying glory goes to SBR Milden in the Mercedes. 1 minute 44.677. At one point we had 1/10 of a second separating 4 drivers. Milden has separated himself from the field by almost 2.5 tenths. Incredible stuff. We've got the McLaren of Morex in second. On row number 2, it's going to be Clay and Rumelson, 3rd and 4th. Row 3, it'll be KOL Fighter and Art Connor, Ferrari and Aston side by side. There'll be a Ferrari on row number 4 as well, with WTR in 8th and Renville just in front of him in 7th position. Championship leader TK Drifter finds himself in 9th in the Nissan with Rob 2K's Bentley on row number 5, side by side with the Drifter. In 10th place, we've got Val Wren and that guitar dude, 11th and 12th in the McLaren and the Aston. G. Harvey rocking the Bentley with the Lambo side by side with him, 13th and 14th for himself and Blue Mosquito. Casper is in 15th, and there will be two Ferraris side by side at the start. It's Hendricks and Bozzy well within the 2.5 seconds, as I guesstimate, 2.2 and 2.3 seconds respectively. 16th and 17th position. So still very close through the field. The top 10 separated by a second. Val Wren only a 10th off the 1 second mark. So from second through to 12th, only separated by 1 second. So there we go. In fact, G. Harvey could probably lump in that one as well. 1.305 to 1.318 the time differential there. Let's have a look, as I always like to do, at the purple sectors. Milden, 0 purple sectors on the quickest lap of the race. Don't you just love to see it? Consistency through the lap rather than peaking in one particular part has gotten him the 44.6. Morex Sector 3. So McLaren Sector 3, BMW Sector 2 and Audi in Sector 1. But your all-round king, the Mercedes. So there we go then. For all you stat geeks out there like me. There's another one for you. Another qualifying session. No purple sectors for the fastest lap. The drivers will be setting their resetting their fuel and getting their tyres set for the race. The track now at Optimum is quite an early one. 12 p.m. Oh no, the race is 4 p.m. Sorry, the qualifying session Sunday. So yeah, it's going to be slightly later in the day. With quali being at 3. And it is still a ×1 multiplier, I think. ×2 multiplier, yep. So it's going to be the equivalent to a 2-hour race. 3 minutes. Tell you what, while that's happening then, let's just pop this on as we get ready for the race. As you can see, it is round number 9. That video is absolutely worth watching. Mark, yeah, the sector times, absolutely. I would agree with that completely. It's always, I think it's brilliant to see different cars doing better in different sectors and how that translates into the sector time, especially when you see something like up until this point, or TK Drifter in 9th. If you look at the standings, which are really small now because for some reason Streamlabs is just being... It's because Elgato's working for me. Oh, I can't believe I just said that aloud. But if you look at the standings, TK Drifter has led the championship. Oh my goodness, that's so far out of position. What is happening? But yeah, he's led the championship for quite some time, and he didn't get his first race win until round 7. You know what I mean? Like, to talk about consistency, I mean, right through, you look at Milden there, consistent right through the lap, takes pole position. TK Drifter has been pretty consistent. We got 2nd, 4th, 6th, 2nd, 5th, and then a 1st. Which means he, in 12th place he's got, he can afford that little slip up. Because he's putting the legwork. That is loud, sorry. Okay, let me just put that down a bit. Because that is quite loud. The monitor function on this is so handy. But yeah, we'll do that. Just so there is a bit of separation there. Although, yeah, the cars are far more interesting than my voice, that's for sure. But yeah, so consistency, be it in qualifying or over an entire championship. Just, yeah, time and time again. It's, that's gone up here shape, so let's go back to the cars that are on their warm-up laps. As I mentioned, it is Watkins Glen. They were at an absolute beauty of a track. This inner loop, definitely an overtaking opportunity, even though it is a very traditional bus stop type chicane. So yeah, expect to see action ahoy. But yeah, 17 on track tonight. Woke up potentially interfere with that. We've got one mandatory pit stop for the drivers to engage with this evening. Next week it is the 90-minute. That'll be a 2-stop classic. 90 minutes around Laguna Seca and GT3 cars. Yep. Excited much? Yeah, absolutely should be, because that is going to be a good one. It definitely is. And with the big gap, I did think that I did say at the start of the season the championship probably wouldn't be decided until the top 7 cars in the final race had crossed the line. I still am kind of standing by that. TK Drifter, I think he definitely a good result here this week, although I think he's actually got the championship. Mathematically speaking, he is actually right up there, yeah, because he's got a 37-point gap. He just needs to, realistically, finish inside the top 10. And he should pretty much be good. He'd only lose 16 points. Yeah, if he finishes top 10 in the next 2 races, he's pretty much got it in the bag. Anything outside the top 10, and he's going to have me furiously reaching for my calculator. So, let's pray he takes it easy on me. Yeah, keeps it inside the top 10 to bring home the win. Am's not racing this evening. His biggest championship protagonist, Rob 2K, he's only 38 points behind. Cool Racing 41 points, then 65 points back is Milden. So even with a race win and finishing outside the top 10 tonight, Drifter will. Milden wins and Drifter finishes outside the top 10. He'll still have a fair old grip on the championship. Rob 2K behind him at the moment, so that definitely step one. Keep Rob 2K behind. Step one, though, is to get yourself successfully through turn number 1 at Watkins Glen. And here we go. There are the green lights, and it's a straight run down the hill, and the Mercedes of Milden goes defensive very early, of course. The odd numbers on the inside line. There's Morex making it through turn 1 beautifully. Clay, right on the inside from Melson, pushing his luck with the stewards there ever so slightly on the curb, and it's KWL Fighter still in 5th corner. Renville, WTR, TK Drifter in 9th, Rob 2K. And that guitar dude 4 wide in the background. And we've got cars down. There has been Cummings together then, and that is Bozzy. No, it's not. Somebody's about to drop down the order. Oh, we missed it there. I missed it. It's the blue car. Oh, and we've got a wayward Ferrari TK Drifter Championship leader. Nightmare start from him. for him, sorry, down to 10th position and really swamped in the battle as another Ferrari WTR finds himself going wayward on the opening lap. It is Blue Mosquito, of course it was Blue Mosquito in the background. It kind of looked like a Bentley, but it's Blue Mosquito down into 17th position, so not the best start there. Casper and Bozzy battling out for that position. Then we've got 2 tenths separating Morex from Milden. Melson is up to 3rd, with Clay just being overtaken there. Connor still in 5th, Renville in 6th position. Renville 7th. Rob to K8 Drifter back into 9th. That guitar dude up to 10th. Place Hendricks WTR down into 12th position after coming a cropper at the inner loop. Casper 14th, G Harvey 15th, Valren in 16th, and Blue Mosquito he's closed up 3 seconds already. He's in 17th position. Absolutely not the opening lap he was looking for. TK Drifter was on the bubble though. He is still in 9th position, as we can see the lead 2. Morex having a look down into turn number 1 as the purple lap passes hands right down the field to finish lap number 1. Milden still leading the way though, 4 tenths of a gap over Morex. Romelson leading the chasing pack. He's got Clay, Connor, Fighter, Renville, Rob 2K, Drifter, that guitar dude. There's Hendricks, WTR, Bozzy and Casper down through 14th position. G Harvey 15th. Blue Mosquito in 16th as Val Ren has come in to take his mandatory pit stop. The track temperature actually down on qualifying, 22 degrees. So 4 degrees colder, and a lot colder I'm sure than the drivers would have been betting on. The pit window is open. Can't see time of day. Yes, so it is 4 PM. So yeah, very cold conditions considering the actual local climate. KOL Fighter giving the back of the Ferrari a bit of extra work on the second traction control. Sorry, I really do have an annoying tickle in my throat as we see a Ferrari and a BMW going side by side. Renville has a look down into the boot section, not to be, or up through the middle section of the boot. Sorry, yes, they are just coming in through there now. Having a look, TK Drifter there in the foreground we just saw coming through. The Ferrari Hendricks in the background. He's got Bozzy and WTR, so the 3 Ferraris now poised together after WTR falling down the order. Bozzy and Hendricks both making their way up several places after some of the comings together with the other cars at the start of the race. We can see KWL Fighter, this TK Drifter having a look up the inside. That Ferrari looks forlorn. KOL Fighter with a bit of damage on the front then. Rob 2K and TK Drifter making their way through. More importantly for Rob 2K, he is ahead of TK Drifter. Won't make a massive difference in the championship standings, but every point counts. And the ball certainly in Rob 2K's court at the moment. They can see Renville just ahead, so we can see TK Drifter looking to go side by side into the inner loop, or just potentially getting himself out the slipstream so as not to carry too much speed in there. There is that guitar dude now applying the pressure to KOAL Fighter. We can see a bit of damage on KOAL Fighter's car, so he's potentially struggling at the moment. More Ferraris in the background, round the outside for that guitar dude, down the hill into the boot. Oh, just too wide. He's on the grass then. There we go. He didn't want to turn too quickly back onto the tarmac in case the car kicked right out. But he certainly does look to be quicker than KOL Fighter at the moment. We see a close battle in behind as well as Casper and G Harvey in that Honda. I know this is Bentley there yet again, but he is in the Honda. I don't know why Harvey keeps joining in the Bentley and then picking the Honda. It's very strange, but he does. He's just got the move done on Casper, who lost a lot of time through that sector. So he's now down into 14th. G Harvey up into 13th position. Hendricks in 15th place. Up at the front is still Milden leading the way, and he's taking the fastest lap on lap number 2 as well. Half a second ahead of Morex, who's lapped in car. Oh, and that is going to definitely be a warning from the in-game stewards from Romelson. That was a lot of way wide out of turn number 1. Definitely can't be using that much of the exit. Oh, we can see Morix in the foreground there, just on the way into the inner loop again. The pace of the McLaren up the hill in that slipstream, closing in all the way into the inner loop. Not quite able to get on the brakes late enough to get alongside and potentially get a move. KWL Fighter and Hendricks, two Ferraris into the pits. Valren has taken his pit stop. WTR and Bozzy right on top of one another. These Ferraris still, it is Bozzy leading the way up with these two. G. Harvey and the Honda doing his best to get a double overtake potentially. Morix and Milden now only separated by a tenth of a second up at the front, up through the middle section of the boot. It is the Mercedes leading the McLaren. We've got Renville and Clay. The two BMWs doing battle as well. Joining that battle soon will be the Aston Martin just ahead, potentially the Bentley just behind, although TK Drifter applying a lot of pressure. Can Rob defend and catch up to the group ahead? We shall certainly see. G. Harvey in that Honda really is climbing on the back of WTR's Ferrari. WTR way down the order. There's KWL Fighter. Long pit stop there for KWL Fighter. Hendricks is still in there. Valren through. Oh no, just coming to the last corner now actually. So KWL Fighter coming right back out in the battle of the BMWs. Blue flags furiously waving. There is Renville. He'll be hoping to sneak a bit of slipstream as well off the Ferrari. That's one of the BMWs, so I'm just holding my breath there. Blue flags are waving, but I'm sure he will be promptly out of the way in the battle between the Beamers. Will resume. Morix and Milden back to separated by half a second. TK Drifter and Rob 2K. They're still duking out, as are Bozzy and WTR in those Ferraris, although that is Casper now right on the back. So where is G. Harvey gone? He's had a mistake through the inner loop by the look at. Oh, a lot of damage. Yep, a lot of separation between the bonnet and the front bumper there. That's Blue Mosquito making his way through as well. So G. Harvey down at 14th place. KWL Fighter. He's in 15th, but Hendricks in 16th, and Valren in 17th place. They're the drivers that have taken their pit stops. So long stint to go. 50 minutes left of the pit window. 51 minutes left of the race. Hey, TK versus Rob, TK Drifter. Oh yeah, that's what we're on. That's what. Yeah, that's what I'm already on, bud. Yeah, how we doing, Arms? How come you're not racing? What's going on? One of the favourites for the championship. But yeah, that is one of the battles we've definitely been keeping a close eye on. Another good one as well. Oh yeah, TK Drifter absolutely piling on here. That's KWL Fighter just ahead of them. Oh, side by side into the inner loop. Oh, TK Drifter back round the outside. Is he going to make that one stick? He's left enough room, a little bit of contact on the way down the hill. Oh, nice apex there by TK Drifter. Down on the entry into the boot. Down the chute to go, out the bottom. That is still KWL Fighter just ahead of him in 15th. Of course, he's taking his pit stop. This is the battle for 7th and 8th place just ahead. Oh, and Romelson's got right on top of Clay as well. The BMW is just making the way past the Ferraris. Romelson's got himself back in the middle of them. Renville right on the back of that battle as well. TK Drifter and Rob 2K just behind as well. KWL Fighter really is right in the thick of things after taking that early pit stop. There's Renville, Romelson and Clay just ahead. 4th, 5th and 6th within 0.3 of a second. Morex now well in the slipstream as well, down into turn number 1 to start lap number 6. It is heavy on the brakes for both drivers as early as possible on the accelerator. Morex uses more of the curb on exit, trying to get as much of a run as he can up the hill, and he potentially has done. He looks like he might be closing in into the inner loop. Are we going to see McLaren and Mercedes side by side, or does Milden have the run he needs to fend off the ever-charging McLaren? We've got Renville and Melson. They're about to go side by side up the hill, and TK Drifter and Rob 2K are probably about to oblige exactly the same thing. As we see, Morex didn't quite get it done through the inner loop. Let's see if from Melson has any moves under up his sleeve. Nothing doing there, and it is still Rob 2K and TK Drifter still just behind the Ferrari. Ooh, that's looking very close. Yep, he's let them through now. So there we go. KOL Fire just ahead of G Harvey, but TK Drifter and Rob 2K finally making their way through. Morex within half a tenth of the race lead once again. He is definitely not letting this one go any time soon. Out-qualified by 0.2 of a second, certainly never more than a few tenths of a second behind Milden during this race. Let's see if the Drifter... Oh, that guitar dude's got the move done on Clay then. Clay falling down the order. I think there's been a bit of contact. Clay's definitely made contact with something. Oh, and whatever he made contact with, it was high speed. Oh, and Rob 2K's made a mistake on the exit of the corner. Looks like he potentially didn't have as much drive as TK Drifter expected. The Drifter has caught him, and Rob 2K has had a big impact with the wall there. It was almost, I mean, my memory might be tricking me, but it did almost look like TK Drifter straightened him out, kinda. I think we can see damaged Bentley. That guitar dude is closing in on Rob 2K as well. On that exit, Aston having himself a bit of a wiggle, but TK Drifter heading up the hill nice and smoothly at the moment. Rob 2K definitely suffering damage, I would say, at the moment. Right round the outside goes that guitar dude. Two wheels barely touching that grass, kicking up a bit of dirt. But Aston Martin does make it through into the inner loop. He's up into 6th position. That's about to all change as we get through the next timing delta. TK Drifter. Sorry, he is in 6th. There's that guitar dude in 7th, and Rob 2K is in 8th place. We've got Clay and Casper. Casper with a bit of damage there. Clay with a lot of damage, as we know. And Hendricks in the pits once again. Second trip in the pits for him. G Harvey, Valren and KOL Fire, as we've seen on screen, still mixing it with the race leaders. They've all taken their pit stop. Morex and Milden, no pit stops for either of them at the moment. Renville within half a second still of Romelson. Big gap either side for Art Connor. He sat on that podium, 3rd place, 7.8 seconds ahead, 3.6 seconds back, and a solid battle either side of him, with only 0.4 separating the two drivers in front and behind him. So he's benefiting from the gap increasing behind due to the battle, and he's certainly going to be looking to close in, although just as I say that, the gap increases 8.4 seconds. So despite the battle between Milden and Morex, they are still gapping the rest of the field. Rob 2K, unsurprisingly, making his way into the pits to get some of that damage fixed. Clay could well be in there for a while getting that fixed, and Hendricks getting some damage fixed as well by the look of it. Evening mate, shame I mate. It is, oh yes, it definitely arms. Yeah, I would agree with that, mate. Like I say, you're definitely one of the very, very, very quick ones in this championship, and currently sitting 2nd, so only a point ahead of Rob 2K. And Rob, yep, looks like he's going to finish this race. So some points there. Are you going to make Laguna Seca? Is the big question. The 90-minute finale. That will be a good one. There's Valren. Just got Romelson making his way through. Blue flags for Clay, he's out the pits. Rob 2K still in there. Just about to leave. There's Casper. Ahead of KOL Fire, who's got WTR in 7th place. Just ahead of him. Romelson at 6.0 seconds now. For that one there, and Morex and Milden. This is just an absolute masterclass between these two. Up at the front, 9 laps deep. Is Milden still leading the way. Morex still pestering, looking to apply pressure, every possible opportunity into the inner loop. Lap number 10 well underway. And it's Mercedes v McLaren still up at the front. Like I say, 2.5 tenths separated them in qualifying. And there's not really been more than half a second separating them out here on the track. I'm wondering whose tyres this is going to be harsher on. Is it going to be harsher on Morex, stuck in the slipstream, therefore having to use more brakes to slow the car down more because he's carrying more speed in the corner? But it is a middle engine rear wheel drive car that he's driving, so it does kind of even out the tyre wear ever so slightly. And then you've got Milden in the Mercedes. He has put in the quickest lap of the race, but you do feel that he is taking defensive lines at the moment. Doesn't really have a choice if he leaves the door open. I'm sure Morex will quite happily sprint on through there. Half a second separates him as they come through the penultimate corner. Over the pit line, heavy on the brakes is the Mercedes. Look at that on the curb for the McLaren. That's a brilliant exit he's got there, coming across the start-finish line down the hill. That's Rob 2K just ahead of him. He is the lead car on track to have taken his pit stop. He's running in 11th at the moment. The exit to turn 1. Beautiful by both of the race leaders once again. KOL Fighter, despite getting bogged down in the lead traffic, he's got himself caught up to and ahead of Casper in 12th position. Casper, of course, know him well from One Hub Racing, himself and Art Connor, both racing at One Hub. And yeah, it's great to see them out here racing as well. KOL Fighter as well, we've seen him a few places. He does like to get about on the race as well as that guitar dude, the SOP. So it's great to see all these console drivers coming together, and it's great to see the action that we're getting right through the fields. We can see Morex just down the chute, just getting a bit more-ish on the edge of the curve. Has maintained his momentum though, and the bar just shows you the pace that Rob 2K's got. He's absolutely hanging with both of these guys. The Mercedes gets back on to the racing line, flying up the hill to exit the boot section of the course. Oh, Morex, is he having a look side by side then? Come on, cameraman. And there we go, he was having a look side by side into the penultimate corner. Look how little separating these two once again. Again, every millimetre of the track used, and the McLaren not quite on the curbs this time, but really did get a good exit this time. He's going to be bumper to bumper, and he's had to pop out to avoid some contact there. Could have maybe used the slipstream down the hill, but pops back in. Is Morex happy to sit in second place for the moment? Just keep applying the pressure. See if he could force a potential mistake out of the current race leaders. He's looking to get it done in the pit stop. Certainly for all the world there, looked like he could have had the run down the hill. They were bumper to bumper on exit. The slipstream certainly would have been in his favour, and he's gone up to the inside this time. Is he going to get side by side and then look the preferred line is Milden's at the moment, but Morex finds a way through, maintains a gap of less than 3 tenths a second as they once again head down into the chute. We've now got half the field have taken their pit stops. 39 minutes left on the pit window, so they've all been quickly in there. Casper was overtaken by KOL Fighter. He's not giving up the position lightly though. Into the inner loop, you can see these two separated by less than 3 tenths of a second as well. Morex and Milden though We would be remiss not to watch the battle up at the front. A genuine, absolute masterclass from both of these drivers. Oh, I'm really scared to do this now. We'll go and use helmet cam. It occasionally makes the game go a bit funny. Oh no, but then you can't get back into this camera without... Right, okay, yeah, no, okay. No, it doesn't matter, we can't do that because then you can't get back to this camera again, that's right. So yeah, so we'll just stay on this one. That is a pity. I would love to get some helmet cam action from Morex's camera car right now, just to see how close himself and Milden are. Would love to get some live telemetry on the lap times as well. I'm pretty sure they're running absolutely identical lap times. Ooh, Milden! He is looking to incur the wrath of the in-game stewards. Too many track limit violations, you'll find yourself with a trip into the pits that isn't going to meet your mandatory requirements. It will be a drive-through. Of course, if you speed on the way into the pits, you get a drive-through penalty. If you speed on the way out of the pits, you get a stop-go 30-second drive-through penalty. 3 track cut warnings. You are almost done. That 4th one will find you bestowed with the Christmas gift of a drive-through penalty from the race stewards, and they're more than keen to hand them out. Milden really pushing his luck through turn 1 on that exit then. So he's going to have to be careful what he is doing. Did see one of the drivers, the last race I commentated on for FRL, did see one of the drivers saying about halfway through the race he was on a 3rd warning, which meant he did half the race being as careful as could possibly be, and that can really be detrimental to getting yourself to the end and getting a real serious points paying position. Ramelson, he's come into the pits in the Audi from 8th place. We'll see Rob 2K. Blue Mosquito right up ahead of a few of the drivers as well. KWL Fighter, Casper and Valren, G Harvey in 14th at the minute. But again, we're going to see more pit stops taken. Connor Renville, Drifter, that Guitardo, WTR, all still to come into pits, as is Morex and Milden. Morex and Milden in the McLaren and the Mercedes. That's definitely not a tongue twister at all, I promise. But here we can see them coming up the hill once again, and looking for some. We shall see lap number 13. These two endeavour to make their way through once again. 36 minutes left of the race. It is still Milden leading the way with Morex in 2nd. Connor is in 3rd place with a 2.5-3 second gap over Renville. TK Drifter's up to 5th with that Guitardo in 6th. Oh, Morex, what a save! Can everyone please be standing? A round of applause for Morex in the McLaren for saving that one. I guarantee you he is equal parts disappointed as excited. He was so close to the back of Milden for lap after lap, and that gap has now increased to over double what it has been for the entire race. But what a save through the inner loop that was. McLaren go sideways, yes please. Morex keeping a hold of that one. In fact, the gap's over doubled there. 1.5 seconds is now the gap, although that's Ramelson. He is pretty quick. Ramelson out of the pits. He's got Milden just behind him. Morex though, what a drive up until that point. Is that potentially a tyre thing? I was saying that. I know from first hand it's very difficult to follow another car and constantly be in the slipstream, because they're always carrying a little bit more pace. Your brakes are always going to react slightly differently, and it'll certainly have an effect on your front tyres. But 13 laps. I did say lap 13, unlucky for some. Certainly proved that way for Morex then. Back to within 1.3 seconds. He'll continue the hunt, so he is in 2nd. Connor 3rd, Renville 4th, TK Drifter in 5th place. That Guitardo and WTR at the moment 6th and 7th. Still to take their pit stops though. There's Blue Mosquito. He is 10th overall. Just being overtaken once again by WTR, who will be coming into the pits at some point. Ramelson leading the drivers that have taken their mandatory pit stops. Rob 2K, Blue Mosquito rounding out the top 10 at the moment. Then it's KOL Fighter and Casper 11th and 12th. Val Wren 13th. G Harvey in 14th. Why does it say Bentley when he's in a Honda? Clay in 15th. Bozzy in 16th. And 7 laps down in the Ferrari is Hendricks. Looks like he's had to retire with irreparable mechanical damage. Showboat drifting from Morex. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. He's just showing off. Let's face it though, if you could do that in the McLaren lap after lap, you would absolutely show that off. I would. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful save. And it's definitely one of those things. We're all sitting here very excited about what we've just seen. And Morex, I'm sure he'd much rather have the time back rather than the beautiful image of him making that McLaren look all kind of wonderful through that inner loop. He's got the gap closed again, so does this suggest he is the faster of the two? Milden has got the fastest lap of the race, but he has led the whole way with Morex absolutely hanging on to his back. But is he just... might just be that little bit faster, not quite able, or he hasn't quite been able to get the overtake done, so the paces must be very, very similar. But what we're seeing here is Morex closing from 1.5 down to 9/10 of a second, and I would guess that is going to be a lot less than 9/10 of a second when next we cruise through the timing line. Which will of course be after we exit this uphill section, making our way along the top or the middle of the boot. Let's have a look, let's have a look, let's have a look. Also, it's still 9/10 of a second then, so no change. It actually increased ever so slightly. Oh, Morex. That will be a track warning. So I'm guesstimating at the moment we're 1 each on track limit violations for Morex and Milden from what we've seen. Art Corner still very comfortably in 3rd place. We have lost the driver though, as well as Hendricks in the pit. We're down to 16, including Hendricks. Bozzy in the Ferrari, he's in 15th with Clay in 14th. G Harvey 13th, Val Wren in 12th, Casper in 11th. We've got KOL Fighter in 10th place, Mosquito of the blue variety in the Lamborghini. He's in 9th, Rob 2K in 8th. Ramelson is in 7th position. Ahead of him, all drivers need to pit. WTR, that guitar, do TK Drifter, 4th, 5th and 6th respectively. And Art Corner, 13 seconds behind second, 7.5 seconds ahead of 4th. Comfortable podium position for the Aston Martin driver at the moment. The time difference now between... Whoa, Morex really pushing his luck there. A lot of dust kicked up. That's potentially a second track limit violation there. We will certainly see. That did look like a lot of tyres on the grass then. The gap was down to just under 9/10. It's now back to just over 9/10, now just under the 9/10 again. Who comes into the pits first then? If you're in this race, who do we think? Milden come in, go for the over. Morex go for the under. WTR comes into the pits from 6th position, so we'll see where he comes back out, because there is Ramelson behind the lead two. WTR has been released from Melson, tearing down the hill. Milden's come into the pits. Milden has come into the pits bang on the halfway mark. That felt like it needed repeated. Morex is now leading the way. There's WTR just making his way out the pits. He is ahead of the now fastest driver on the track, Ramelson, in the Audi. He's just clocked the fastest time of the race as TK Drifter comes in as well. That guitar dude comes through. He'll be up to 4th. There's Blue Mosquito in the background. So is he ahead of TK Drifter? I think he might be. We will see. Milden though comes in from the lead. Morex then, he's got a bit, he's got a bit of free air ahead of him. KOL Fighter and Blue Mosquito, the Lambo and the Ferrari. Look like they're about to duke it out as well. Milden dropped and ready to rock. Out of the pits he comes. Very short pit lane here. Now let's have a look and see. I'm not even sure who we're guessing. Oh yeah, he's got a big gap over WTR. WTR, not such a big gap over him and over Melson, though. Yeah, that is certainly a battle that looks like it's swinging in Ramelson's favour. Fastest lap of the race so far. Decent pedigree to back that up. There's Morex comes into the pit, so he's answered straight away. Will Connor and that guitar dude do the same. There is Milden just coming into the boot complex now. There's Morex heading towards. He's going to need to be as fastidious as possible getting this pit stop done. No mistakes, no margin for error given how close they were. Oh, and that guitar dude, that might be a penalty on that penalty line. On the pit entry line here is so tricky. If you cross it and then come back into the pits, we'll see what happens. There's Morex. Where is Milden? Just coming to the penultimate corner now. Morex is still stationary. Milden coming through the penultimate corner. He's into the last corner. Morex is now moving. I did say it was a short pit lane, and of course it is. So that's why I shouldn't have been surprised. Here comes Milden down into turn 1. He's got one of the BMWs just ahead of him. Morex on the pit end exit, and it is Milden. Oh, he's not maintained the lead there. He's run wide into turn 1. He's run wide into turn 1, and Morex is challenging for the lead of the race. They're side by side up the hill. The Mercedes has just got his nose in front at this stage as the BMW provided slipstream to at least one of the cars. They make contact on the straightaway into the inner loop. It's the McLaren that's got his nose just in front. Morex, is he going to take the lead of the race? Oh, Milden manages to get back inside there, doesn't make contact, and it is Morex out of the pits. Makes that one stick. Did Milden make a mistake into turn 1 there? I think he might have. He did look like he was a bit wide on that exit curve, but either way, Morex has got this one done. Came into the pits a lap later than Milden, and he's got himself half a tenth in front with 26 minutes left to go. Stint number 2 is going to be the opposite. Stint number 1, Morex up at the front, and Milden doing the defending, and Milden doing all the attacking as they come through once again. The boot complex, the Mercedes having a look up the inside, pulls back into the slipstream. Bit too far back there to make that one move. Both drivers being very respectful of the curbs there towards the penultimate corner. Blue Mosquito and KOL Fighter as well, actually. There, KOL Fighter and Blue Mosquito, both of them having a bit of a wiggle on the exit there. Morex really using all the curb possible there. Milden within 0.4 of a second. There is a BMW getting out of the way and fully pumping on the brakes just to make sure he did. Oh, look at the Mercedes. Absolutely sails it up the inside. Is he going to make that one stick? He is indeed. So much later on the brakes there. And it is the Mercedes then of Milden back in the lead of the race. So that didn't last long then, did it? Morex soundly overtaken there by Milden, but we're going to see him right back into the slipstream. 24 minutes. Again, he maybe is happier doing the chasing. Bozzy and Clay. For some reason that said they were quite close there, but they're clearly not. Blue Mosquito and KOL Fighter could be close very soon. Morex still in that second position then. That is every driver been in and taken their pit stops. The top two separated by half a second still. Not too shabby at all. So let me just check, is that still running? Yeah, there we go. Excellent, sorry, yes. Just making sure that was still running. So yeah, these two, half a second. Down at turn one once again. Oh, Morex still pushing it to try and catch back up then. Casper back into the pits. Second trip in for Casper then. Blue Mosquito. Within a second still a KOL Fighter. Still this battle up at the front though between Morex and Milden. Not really sure we can look at many other places. Milden temporarily relieved of the lead of the race when he came out of the pits. Wow, it's amazing how far behind the Steen is. And it is Milden once again up the front. So yeah, the 2 laps he hasn't led were due through the pit stop phase very quickly. Got the lead retaken. We can see the BMW, oh that's the Honda G Harvey, sorry, in the background. He's currently in 12th. Casper and Hendricks both in the pits. Hendricks definitely a retiree. Casper back in. So I'm not sure. Hopefully he is going to make it back out. Get himself to the end. That Guitar Dude, solid drive from that Guitar Dude, making his debut up into 5th position. Does have the fastest driver on the track currently. Hunting him down with a Melson in 6th place. Blue Mosquito 9/10 in. Oh, Renville, I thought we lost someone. It's you. I could have guessed it was a BMW as well. Ah, dude, that is a nightmare. That is a nightmare. Technology. 21 minutes. Can we jump on helmet cam? No, because we won't get back to this cam. Oh, I threw that in a loop. Hear that McLaren over those curbs. Oh, can't be a good cup of tea. Half a second then. Still separating these two. Clay and G Harvey still getting close as well. In fact, yeah, Clay has just overtaken Harvey, so these two have actually swapped positions then. So up to 12th for Clay. Actually, now that you say that, Milden's connection for some reason is showing as a half-ons bar. That's it, isn't it, Renville? You've got to laugh. If you don't laugh, you probably cry. But yeah, whether it's racing, whether it's real or sim racing, yeah, technical issues can certainly see you undone quicker than somebody kamikaze lunging you into turn number 1. That's for sure. You can't. Wasn't to say you can't win it in turn 1, but you can certainly lose it. But yeah, the technical errors, technical issues. Definitely present in racing, sim and real, that is for sure. No problems so far for either of these two. Hopefully none. They've got a fair bit of track ahead of them. 20 minutes left to settle their affairs. Hendricks will just... Oh no, we've still got 69. Have we just lost someone else? I hope not. Casper is back out on track. So he has... Oh, did I miss that there? I was looking at the scoreboard. Did Morix just give the wall a clip? I was looking at the board there. Oh yes, he's lost almost 2 tenths through that last sector. So yeah, potentially big contact there. Hopefully that's not done him too much damage. These cars, certainly with the way the aerodynamics are set up using all these carbon fibre bits and pieces along the front side and the back of the car, you definitely don't want to be taking too much of that off. That'll cause you no end of problems. Keeping the car on track and 7 tenths then, so it's gone 5, 6, 7. So he has lost a tenth per delta there. Let's see if he can close back in through here. Still got 14 running. It's Casper in that 14th position with Bozzy in 13th. G Harvey 12th, Clay in 11th are to our teammates, 11th and 12th. Inside the top 10, it's Val Wren 10th, KOL Fighter in 9th, Rob 2K in 8th place. Excuse me. WTR in 7th from Melson with that fastest lap in 6th place. That guitar dude, TK Drifter 5th and 4th. Art Connor in 3rd place on the podium. And still these two. First and second, and it is still Milden with the first, and Morix in that second place. He has closed back in, and yes, someone's gone down to 15 drivers plus you. Yeah, I did think that. Yeah, someone else has gone as well. Rob 2K still there. I think it's the other Bentley. Because Renville's a BMW, I'm sure. Was there another Bentley? Oh yeah, G Harvey. I keep thinking G Harvey's another Bentley, but he's in a Honda. Blue Mosquito. Blue Mosquito in the Lambo. How could we miss the fact that there's a Lambo missing? Alright, let me see. Oh no, that's for future. Right, yeah, so I'm just having a quick check to see if there's anything perhaps. Right, okay, no. So I've lost Blue Mosquito as well then. Yeah, hopefully none of the other drivers fall foul of that. Hendricks has retired to the pits. With damage. Casper, Bozzy, G Harvey and Clay still outside the top 10. Val Wren in 10th. He's just been overtaken by the race leaders. KOL Fighter in 9th. Rob 2K in 8th. Melson in 7th. WTR in 6th. And that guitar dude in 5th. Great debut for him in the Aston Martin. TK Drifter. This all but seals the championship for him. It would take some seriously unlikely mathematical events for Drifter to lose the championship now. Given the points he's about to score, and he is ahead of Rob 2K. No arms in this race either this evening, and within 3 places of Milden, the race winner. Milden close in the championship, and he will close in, but only by about 4 or 6 points, 8 points. So certainly won't make a massive difference on the 65-point deficit. He's got to overturn, with 40 points being the maximum allocation for a race win. This one, TK Drifter, just needs to keep this between the mayo and the mustard for the next 14 minutes. And yeah, barring some divine intervention, he is going to be crowned FRL Season 7 Taco Tuesday Tier 1 champion. Which would be a phenomenal achievement. One race win all season. The rest of his finishes all around the 3rd to 6th position mark. So really did get the season done the way he wanted, with that consistency, bringing home regular good results. And certainly even his qualifying position, his average qualifying position, 6th place. Average in finishing position, 4th place, if you take away the 12th from last week. So yeah, qualifies and then makes up positions in the race. So great set of results. Great set of results he's got so far. Will the result up at the front be the same in 13 minutes time? Morex certainly will be hoping not. Milden, he'll definitely be hoping yes. These two back to within the half a second of one another. Milden still being pressurised by his fellow podium protagonist, the Morex, down into turn 1. Let's see who's the most careful. Both drivers being pretty careful that time. You get the feeling there's at least a couple of warnings between them from the in-game series. As I say, a drive-through penalty here. It is a fairly short pit stop, but the battle this close, that extra trip into the pits, that's going to see you dropping off the podium with TK Drifter there in 4th, only 8.4 seconds behind Art Connor. He's going to need to go a second a lot quicker if he is going to catch Connor. Could be a big ask. Oh, down the chute once again. And the McLaren. Oh yeah, he's got a good run down there. He's going to be absolute nose to tail as they go up the hill. Opens up the corner for himself there. Gets a good amount of acceleration up that hill. There is a BMW. They've just got blue flag past. Oh no, it's not. I do apologise. That is... Is that Connor? I've just tried to use my computer mouse. No, it's not Connor. It's Casper. Well, Morex once again really does know how to use the exit that corner into the penultimate corner. Again, it definitely looks to me like Milden is making a concerted effort to stay between the lines at the moment. Track penalties. Oh, we can see somebody in the back of him just coming into the pits there. We'll just get confirmation that is Casper. It is Casper in the Aston Martin. We just saw him overtaken by the race leaders there. So hopefully no overly concerning issues. Maybe just needs a splash and dash of fuel to get himself to the end of the race. Hopefully whatever it is, he can get himself sorted and get back out on track. 14th at the moment, so might be last, but still will get himself some good points. 17 points in fact for finishing in 14th place, and there he is coming straight back out the pits. So that was pretty much serving a drive-through without actually having to serve a drive-through. With Casper, yeah, back out on track. These two still going at it for the race lead. Ramelson in the pits. Race fastest driver on the track. And he's in the pits. I did not get a notification that it was a penalty. And if it was, it would still have DT or SC30 next to his name at the moment, which it doesn't. He's got some scraping up the side of that car. Wow. So Romelson then in 8th place. Morex and Milden, are they going to go side by side into turn 1? Milden moves back over. He's definitely going to make the McLaren do all the work if he has to. Up the hill once again. We're 28 laps in. We've got 9 minutes left to go. Romelson in the pits with the fastest lap of the race. Track temperature down to 18 degrees, so almost 10 degrees. Colder than it was in qualifying for the drivers. Milden moves back over into the inside loop. He is still the lead car, still ahead of Morex. But is Morex the praying mantis? Oh, Valren back into the pits as well. So that is Valren come into the pits from 12th position, and he's missed his pit box. So he's at the roll back. There's Romelson come back out of the pits. So I wonder if that was damage inspired. Certainly from what we can see there on Valren, there's definitely a bit of damage on the front of his car. No damage for the drivers up at the front though. 28 laps in. It's still Morex in the McLaren in second. Milden in the Mercedes, hanging on to first place. Seriously putting in a fair old defensive shift at the moment. Both drivers really getting themselves up on that curb there. Love to see it. On down the hill then. Is he going to have a look at the outside? Mercedes again. Takes the inside line on the exit of the corner, so he's still got that one move back across. Oh, the McLaren gets a good turn 1 there. A bit better than the Mercedes, I would say. The McLaren's going to be full tilt in the slipstream here. Up the hill, up through the left-hander, and along at the back, straight on the way into the inner loop. We're going to potentially see another side-by-side between the lead two. Does the McLaren have the legs? Really does rely on that slipstream in these straight line encounters. And the Mercedes holds the driving line. Nothing the McLaren can do for pace over this monster of a machine. It's absolutely total cheat codes, this thing, for getting over curves. Hey, this is just insane for the top 2 drivers. God, I couldn't be there. Oh, cool, man. You and me both are missing a couple of drivers. We're missing yourself. We've got Arms missing tonight as well. In the championship standings, you're only 41 points off of the lead. And TK Drifter, championship leader in 4th place. So definitely, what could have been. But good to see you in the chat, bud. Cheers for dropping in, saying hello. Yeah, these drivers up at the front, absolutely putting on the show at the minute. They came out the pits. Milden's led the whole race. He took pole position by 2.5 tenths. Led for the whole race. Came into the pits. When Morex came out of the pits, they were side by side. Milden did get the position retaken a lap later. And yeah, I would guess he's barely looked back since. Because he doesn't need to look back, because he knows that Morex is only feet from his rear bumper for 99% of this lap. For the other percent of the lap, he's within inches of his dear brother. Championship is done. TK has it home. Yeah, I was wondering that. 37 points, even if... Although in saying that, he still... Mathematically, he still can lose. He still did need to finish tonight, because you get 40 points for a race win. So if he didn't win tonight, and either Arms or Rob2K won, he would have lost the lead of the championship tonight. If you'd have won tonight and he hadn't have finished, you would have been a point behind him going into the last race. Because yeah, he's only got a 37-point lead and 40 points. So yeah, he would have had to finish well down the order, but he has had a 12th. So yeah, 2 12ths over the next 2 races would see him lose out on 42 points, and there's 3 drivers within 42. So yeah, mathematically, it's certainly an uphill battle for the rest of the drivers, considering drifters, average quality and average finishing position. Well, if you look at that, yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean, you've got to look at it that way, bud. Anything can happen. Definitely anything can happen. Look, I did an SOP series on PC, and the guy that led the amateur championship at the start of the final race didn't finish in the top 3 of the championship. Led the championship into the final race. After the final race, he was outside the top 3 of the championship. So absolutely, definitely, yeah, crazy. I mean, there was Milden. Let's have a look at this tonight. Milden took pole position. I love all this geeky stuff. Without a purple sector. Look at your last... Exactly. Cool racing. Exactly. You never know what's going to happen. Especially you've got back markers and everything in here. You know what I mean? You've got people in and out the pits. It's a short lap. So yeah, absolutely. Because I guarantee there's no way TK Drifter sees this championship done yet. Guarantee ya. He is driving for everything he's got. That guitar dude, he is as well. 5th place, WTR 6, Rob 2K in 7th, KWL Fighter in 8th, Clay in 9th place, G Harvey in 10th, Romelson back out in 11th, fastest car on track. And he's in 11th place, Bozzy in 12th, Casper in 13th position, Valren in 14th, and Hendricks is tying into the pits. Early doors, unfortunately. Still up at the front though. How I wish we could use helmet cam, but I'll get kicked out probably. And I definitely won't get back to this camera. But we've got 2.5 minutes left to go, and there's half a second still separating Morex and Milden. Absolutely incredible display from both of these drivers. It just goes to show you how close these two are in driving terms when you think of the differences between an absolute monster front engine rear wheel drive car like the Mercedes versus the petite little McLaren with a middle engine rear wheel drive drivetrain. But still, half a second is all that separates these two. It is round number 9. We've got 1 round left to go at Laguna Seca. It does certainly look at the moment like TK Drifter is going to take a massive step towards sealing that championship. In 4th position, the mathematicians can rest their calculators, because with this 4th place, of course, it will be a decent points haul. What does he get for 4th? So it's only going to be a 6-point difference. So yeah, Milden will only close in by 6 points. Morex well out the hunt at the moment. He's definitely in the hunt to win this race though. Right on, we've got 1.5 minutes left to go. The pit window has got 30 seconds left to go. And Watkins Glen has got not long left for these two to battle it out. 1 minute 20 left to go. So when they cross the line, this will be the start of the last lap. And to start the last lap, it will be Valren in 14th position, Casper in 13th, Bozzy in 12th, Romelson in 11th, G Harvey in 10th place. Inside the top 10, we're going to have Clay in 9th, KWL Fighter in 8th, Rob 2K in 7th, WTR in 6th, that guitar dude in 5th position. Got TK Drifter in 4th place still, Morex and Milden. Morex takes the fastest lap of the race. The leader is on the final lap. They're now separated by 0.2 of a second as Morex puts in, as I say, the fastest lap of the race on the penultimate lap to really turn up the pressure on Milden. Has he been playing possum this whole time? Has he been happily sitting behind Milden? Safe in the knowledge, confident in his own skills to get the overtake done on the final lap. He's going to have a look around the outside of the inner loop. Not going to get the move done there. The Mercedes certainly got the straight line speed to carry it through there, or to get there first and get into the braking zone and get the car nice and steady. Oh, both drivers fully respecting the track limits as they head down the chute. Blue Mosquitoes game crash 2. It's really difficult not to swear sometimes, but I'm not allowed to, so I won't. But I'm sure you can all think of the word that I'm thinking of. Milden and Morex Which one of them is going to be screaming that word over and over and over again? Coming to the end of the race, Milden stretches the gap back out to a massive 0.3 of a second. One of the biggest gaps we've seen between these two. They're just exiting the boot section of the race. 1 hour, 1 hour and 1 mandatory pit stop each. These two still separated by half a second. Is Morex going to perform miracles through the penultimate and last corner towards the pit entry and the finish line? The two of them career. It is Milden in first, 33 laps in. Morex using every millimetre of the curve. Sparks fly literally as he tries to go round the outside of the last corner. Doesn't have quite enough acceleration. They're going to cross the line separated by absolutely nothing at all, and it's Milden who takes the race win all the way from lights to flag. Pole position by 2.5 tenths. And he wins the race by 3 tenths with Morex in second position, who actually took the fastest lap of the race. Incredible stuff. TK Drifter, due to disconnections, he has all but sealed the championship now, you would say. Third place, a trip onto the podium. Or has somebody else already crossed the line and left? We'll have to see. But there's TK Drifter getting the checkered flag for third. That guitar dude on the debut gets himself fourth. Phenomenal drive in the Aston. WTR is going to cross the line. With Bozzy just behind him in 11th, with WTR in fact back up to 5th position after that. Early drop down the order. There's one of the McLarens, Valrain, I believe, just in front of him. Yes, there's WTR getting the flag. Rob 2K in the Bentley just behind in 6th position. Art Connor in 7th, KOL Fighter in 8th. It's Clay in 9th, and he's R2, our teammate G. Harvey in 10th position. Romelson in 11th, Bozzy in 12th. Casper got the checkered flag for 13th. Valren got 14th. Blue Mosquito excuse me, disconnected from the server, as was Renville. Hendricks getting himself an early bath as well due to some problems with the car. He was indeed unable to finish. Crack is cool. Yes, I would second that. That was absolutely, definitely some phenomenal racing. And it's not even doing the highlights. There we go. We'll save the highlights and we'll get them playing. In the meantime, let me just pop that up. Yeah, so there we go then. Milden, Morex and TK Drifter. And as I say, TK Drifter now mathematically very, 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 very difficult for him to lose this championship, because he is now going to have more than a 40-point gap. Milden was 65 back at the start of this race, with that first to TK Drifter's third. He's going to close to within 59 points. Arms and Rob 2K. Arms not racing tonight, and Rob 2K finishing behind TK Drifter, so they'll both be beyond 40 points. So yeah, definitely safe to say now that TK Drifter does have this championship safely in the bag. Just needs to show up and finish next week, and that will be his. And what a week that will be. It's going to be 90 minutes around Laguna Seca. Believe that on pause. It's been a phenomenal series so far. Please make sure you get yourselves along for the finale next week. Mr. Crackers Kill, Matt Brewer, great job, Double Raven. Thank you very much, bud. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoy my commentary on multiple platforms. Chad Rice on Twitch and SOP as well, of course. If you do want to support the Formula Racing League team, there is the good old Patreon, supporter elites and aliens, formularacingleague.co.uk. You can get all the information. Facebook, the Gram, and Twitch as well, of course. Supporter Supporters, elites, and aliens will all get a driver number reserved seat for free with an FRL lotto entry. The elites and the aliens will also receive a number logo, which looks all nice and cool. In fact, let me just give you a demonstration of that. Here's what the number logo looks like. So if you see on the scoreboard here, if I can find the button, there we go. So yeah, with the side here, we've got Arms. He's got a logo for his race number here. Milden, Renville, Andy Cray, Art Connor, Michael Races, NTS Chico, and Venom Mario. So there we go. They have all been found guilty of supporting FRL on the Patreon page, and that is elite and alien perk that they have made the most of. As I say, they get the coaching and the new to PC sim racing guide as well. And if you're in the aliens, you'll get yourself an overlay banner, yearly prizes, SimHub Dash, Elgato ACC icons, and a custom livery as well for ACC on PC, because of course the console does restrict that somewhat, but that is how you can get involved. There's the one I'm looking for there. This has been round number 9. Watkins, Glen, Imola, Mazzano, Brands Hatch, Bathurst, Zolder, Monza, Circuit America, Indianapolis, and Watkins, Glen is where we have been. It will be, as I say, a 1.5 hour finale at Laguna Seca. So make sure you get your calendars set for that one. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell so you can get the notifications. And remember, there's been another 2 tiers racing this evening. Tier 2 PS5 and the PS4. So if you like your racing action, make sure you jump back on to the Formula Racing League YouTube page to catch up with all of this evening's action. Woo! What a night that's been. Let me just calm myself down with a quick mouthful of tea. It's been a great one. Congratulations again to the podium. Phenomenal season so far. The finale, it's going to be grandstand. Make sure you're there. Until then, take it easy, stay safe. Maybe see you tomorrow with Chad. But I may have to sort out my mum. Oh, crackers. Sorry to hear that, mate. Yeah, dude, honest, yeah. Obviously, make sure, yeah, your priorities are your priorities, but yeah, hopefully not too rough a time for you just now, mate. I mean, yeah, hopefully see you again soon, bud. But yeah, chuck me a message on Discord if you need to, bud. Say hey or whatever. Oh, right, okay, that's to do with the game crashing. Yes, but yeah, Kragas. Yeah, thoughts with you, mate. This time of year, not a good thing, not a good thing. But yeah, that is time for us to wrap up. So until next time, wherever I see you, take it easy, stay safe.